What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the third of three uh, emails or newsletters, I should say, in the series of intake forms, right? So we've already talked previously about SALT, we've talked about Risk Advisor, and today we are talking about Canopy Connect, right? And again, this isn't necessarily you should use one instead of the other. This is really just kind of talking about the things that each of them do really well, and then you can decide which ones are the best fit for your agency, right? Again, I'm a big fan of avoiding shiny thing syndrome, solving problems. So here is a look inside of Canopy Connect, and specifically what I'm looking at are these flows. Another word for them, you can almost consider it like a form. If you want to kind of look at it that way. I know they are continuing to add to this, so I would expect to see more options in here in the future, but this is what they've got in here right now, and it's actually pretty slick. So when you come in here and you just go into your links and then flows, this is basically what the end user will see whenever they click on that link, right? So you can kind of control a little bit here on what they can enter, what needs to be entered, what's required, what's not, right? One thing I do really like is on this login here, you can actually allow them to skip it if they don't want to log into their previous carrier. It is probably the biggest value that Canopy has is being able to get those deck pages, get all that coverage information for for the agency. But if that's something that you want to give them the ability to skip, you can allow them to skip it right here too. If they don't and they come in here, obviously they can they've got it ordered pretty well as far as the most common. But you can also search your insurance provider. They log in, pulls all of your information, and it sends it over, right? Now, if you want to add drivers, this is kind of where the actual, quote unquote, form process can take place. So if you want to add drivers beyond just what it pulls there, or just whatever you input, or like I said, if they don't do an actual poll and they just want to manually give you the information, you have the ability to do that now. So if you just come in here to drivers, you can kind of tell it what is should be required, what doesn't need to be required. Obviously, first name, last name are going to be hard coded in there, and those are going to be required. So you can't make any changes to that one here. But like date of birth, for example, you can hide it, you can require it. Yeah, absolutely. I want your date of birth. I need that. Driver's license. Again, if you're trying to rate them right away, then sure, go ahead and require that one, which means you're probably going to need the state too. Gender, most carriers are going to need that on there as well. But marital status, relationship, education, occupation, whatever, you don't. Not only do you not have to put them on there, right? You can just completely hide it. Like they don't have to be required. They don't even have to be there. So that's a pretty helpful little thing that they've got in there as well. A couple other sections that you can add in here, right? Their contact info. So if they want to input their email, phone number, again, this is more for the people who don't submit their login information from their carrier, because it's going to pull all that stuff from the carrier whenever they do that deck page pull. But again, same thing here, right? You can optional, you can hide it, you can require it, whatever. And the last thing that you can add in here is the demographics, which is everything that you saw at the bottom of that driver screen too, right? Gender, marital status, whatever. And if I want to get rid of those sections, I just delete, contact info, delete, and we're good, right? Nothing outrageous there. So what this looks like once you save it and you add it to a link is just this guy right up here, right? So if I come in here, I'll walk you through kind of the link here too. Once you create your link, you can customize it, add some icons, some logos, your brand coloring, whatever, put your company name in here. And then you can assign that flow that we just did, right? So we just did a test flow. So this is the flow that I want for this guy right here. And this is what it looks like in the end, right? So when I go in to hit continue, do you already have insurance? Yes or no? No, I'm looking for something new. And boom, now it's just going right into add the drivers, which is what I had next on the form, right? So you can see first name, last name are obviously already kind of coded in here to need to be there. Boom, there's my driver. Do I want to add any more? Yes or no? You hit done. As soon as I'm done, it'll kick this information over to the agency. Now, this is all incredibly powerful, valuable stuff. You will get notified once this submission has been completed. But if you want to take it a step further, which is everything that we do here at Tech Marketer, you can actually connect this via Zapier and kick this lead directly into Agency Zoom, Better Agency, whatever it is that you want. And depending on how intense you want to get with it, you can have it complete a poll, split it between auto and home, right? Those are two options you can have in here, and create that lead inside of Agency Zoom. And then I think I've showed you this on a previous video, but I can walk you through it again here. You can actually have it just create that opportunity for the lead inside of Agency Zoom, right? Because when you're going in and you're creating this personal lead, it doesn't give you the option to create the opportunity, right? Or the line of business, if you want to think of it that way for Agency Zoom. But I can come in here via their API, since they have an open API. I can find that lead and I can immediately, so it'll be 2 steps here, right? Or 3 steps, I guess, log in, then find the lead, then update the lead, right? And then I'm going to create that opportunity. Same thing with the home. I can find it, I can update it, and I can add that home opportunity. So that way, if this is just a link that you've got going out to random, if you're sending out cold emails, if it's in your email signature, if it's on a form somewhere, whatever, that way, when your producer gets notified and they go in and they check that lead inside of Agency Zoom, they can see exactly what the opportunity is, right? They know that it's an auto lead or it's a home lead instead of just guessing because it came from Canopy or whatever. You can know exactly what that lead is, and then you can also reference that in any kind of automations that you build inside of Agency Zoom or Better Agency or whatever, and send that out as well. Like, hey, this is Dan from Tech Marketer. Thank you so much for your interest in an auto insurance quote or a home insurance quote. Thank you for submitting your information to us. We'll have somebody reach out to you shortly. Right, something just a little bit more customizable. So this is Canopy. This is everything that they do well. Like I said, I'm a big fan of all 3 of them. I don't prefer one over the other. They all do things differently. They do things, their own individual things well, and those things are all different. So I do really like them all. I hope this was helpful for you guys and beneficial, especially as we're closing out the year. I know a lot of you are either in 2025 planning mode or are just finishing 2025 planning, and that may or may not include adding some vendors or removing some vendors. So hopefully these 3 are at the top of your list to at least check out and see if they can add some value into your agency, like I know they can. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great holiday, and I will see you all after the first of the year. Take care.